$500, $1,250, $3,500, $4,000, $12,000, and even up to $15,000, and sometimes 69 cents.
Nice.
This is how much you could be earning monthly thanks to Twitter's new revenue share. I'm gonna let you know exactly what you need to do in order to qualify for that revenue share, tips and tricks in order to fulfill those requirements as fast as possible, what is a niche, how to niche down, and which ones are the most profitable. So trust me when I say, you're gonna wanna watch this video till the end. Hey, what's up peeps? It's your boy Marcel, aka Smolcalm. I hope you're doing well. Today, I'm wearing the classy Seiko Prospects Paddy Diver's watch because today we're gonna take a dive on how you can earn some monthly passive income thanks to an app that you probably already have on your phone. And that's going to be none other than the Twitter app, or as it has been renamed. Before you even make a single penny from Twitter's revenue sharing, there are a couple requirements that you'll need to fulfill. The first one being you have to be at least 18 years of age. Then you have to have a minimum of 500 followers. You also have to be subscribed to Twitter Blue, their new subscription service that gives you access to different kind of perks on the platform. That's going to cost you around $8 a month if you subscribe using your web browser, and around $11 if you actually decide to do that on your phone through the App Store. Now, the biggest requirement, and the one that actually scares people away from trying to get monetized on Twitter, but with the tips and tricks I'm about to give you won't really be that much of an issue, is that you have to have 15 million impressions on your tweets in the last 3 months. Once you've fulfilled all those requirements, you'll actually be invited to join the ads revenue sharing program and start making some income from tweeting. For the purpose of this video, I'll assume that you already have a Twitter account opened, but if you don't, it legit takes around 5 minutes to open an account on the platform. So now let's talk about a couple tips and tricks and things you can do to actually get those 15 million impressions and those 500 followers if you do not have them yet. When you'll tweet from time to time, people will stop by your profile. If your profile is bland and uninteresting, people won't scroll down to read your tweets, they won't engage with you, and they won't eventually follow you and bring you those impressions that you so desperately need. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is how to curate your profile properly. The two things that stand out on an account are going to be its profile picture and its name. For the name, it can be an idea to use your full name or an alias like I do, Smolcalm, but you don't want it to be something too long or too complicated that people will actually forget about. For the profile picture, you'll want something that stands out. Something like your face with a bright background. If you're in the art or crypto niche, maybe something like an NFT that is well known. You get the gist. You have to stand out. Moving on to the banner. A lot of people don't actually know how to make a proper banner that'll stand out and communicate a couple pieces of key information in under a second. Now, believe this or not, but when a human that's literate can actually see text, his brain automatically reads it. So if you have like 3 words of the subjects that you cover on your account in your banner, people will automatically start reading those and know what you're about. Another thing people tend to forget about on their profiles is the pinned tweet. Because yes, on Twitter you can pin a tweet to the top of your profile, which means that it'll actually stay there, and that's the first tweet people will see when they come to visit your profile. This has to be an engaging tweet that raises a question or maybe a thread of action that people can take part in. Basically, what you want is when people come on your profile and they see that first pinned tweet, you want people to think like this: well, that's an interesting piece of content. Maybe I'll scroll down more and read some more about what this person's sharing. Because as the way social interactions work, once people start consuming your content and they keep doing that over time, even if it's a short period of time, even if they don't necessarily like the content but they consume it, they will create an attachment to you, and that's when they'll actually decide to go ahead and follow you. Enough with the profile. Now, the way you get paid on Twitter is actually through ad revenue sharing, as we said in the beginning of the video. What's that and how does it work? Well, Twitter is a social media company. These companies make the bulk of their income through placing ads on their platform. This means that advertising companies such as Coca-Cola, Nike, HSBC, etc. will actually pay in order to place an ad in front of relevant content. So if you talk about finance, cryptocurrency, passive income like I do on this channel, Twitter will actually serve ads under my tweets about banks, financial services, basically anything relating to my niche. And the way you get paid is for the amount of impressions that your tweet gather monthly, because the more impressions you get, the more ads they're able to serve under those tweets, and the more you take a cut of that revenue. So small count, technically followers don't matter. You're telling me it's just all about impressions. Well, yes, but also no. The more followers you'll have, the more impressions you'll get, and the more impressions you'll get, the more followers you'll have. So these two actually go hand in hand. Okay, I get it, but 15 million impressions in the last 3 months is a crazy amount just to get into the program. Well, now let's hop into the tips and tricks in order to get more impressions and small things you can modify on your daily actions on Twitter to actually get up to those 15 million impressions and beyond. The first thing you can do to start growing your impressions is to be a reply guy. A reply guy is someone that'll go on bigger accounts' tweets and answer something funny, smart, or that can create a conversation, and that will help you get your first couple thousand impressions. Now, if you keep doing this over and over, you'll see your impressions start to really stack up, but at the end of the day, you want to get impressions on your own tweets, on your own content. Now, you don't want to be replying to necessarily every single big account on the platform. You want to actually be in your niche. But what's a niche, small count? In simple terms, a niche is a subject or a basket of similar subjects. For example, finance, passive income, and cryptocurrency are one big niche. Cryptocurrency is a smaller niche. Now, let's say you're into gaming, that's one huge niche. You can niche down to Minecraft, you can niche down to Apex, League of Legends. If you're into cars, that's also one big niche. Well, German cars are a niche, old vintage cars are another niche. I think you get it. But basically, it can help you to actually niche down, meaning if you're into gaming, pick a specific game or two. If you're into finance, you can niche down into crypto and passive income, because the more detailed value that you actually provide to people reading your tweets, the more they'll tend to actually like your tweets, follow, repost, etc. Now that you know what a niche is, let's use that to optimize being a reply guy. As I said earlier, my niche is crypto, passive income, and finance. So as you can see, I follow all these passive income and finance different accounts. But who should I be replying to? Well, I should be replying to the tweets of the biggest accounts, adding some value to those tweets, starting a conversation, saying something smart, or just make a joke that people will like. Now, the best way to actually do that is to be as early as possible on those people's tweets, so you can activate the bell notifications. That way you'll get a notification every time they tweet, and you can be one of the first peoples to actually answer, so when people actually click on that person's tweet, your answer will be higher up and get more impressions. More early impressions means you have a better chance of getting likes and reposts, which, as you know on Twitter, the more of those you get, the algorithm will keep favoring you, showing it to even more and more people. Now, the second way you can do this is actually to create different lists or join different lists. As you can see right here, I have a list for crypto in which there's 20 huge accounts that tweet about crypto related stuff. When I go into here, I can see their most recent tweets, like 1 minute ago, 1 minute ago, 2 minutes ago. There's already 15 replies on this guy's tweet from 2 minutes ago. So these are all huge accounts that I'm going to usually reply to in order to get those first impressions, those first likes, those first reposts, so that my tweet gets pushed higher and I'm able to get all the impressions. An example of this is this simple tweet I answered to Dexerto, which is basically a media company that talks about everything gaming, esports, and influencer news. As you can see, they tweeted that some esports team were having chewing tobacco and they got kicked from a game. So I just answered, kids be munching on tea bags nowadays. And at first it only got like 1 or 2 likes, but as the Twitter algorithm saw that people were actually keep on liking it, it kept getting likes, and it already has 4,000 impressions for something that hardly took me 30 seconds to think about and post. Now we know how to be a reply guy, get our first couple impressions, maybe get an extra couple followers, but you're thinking is going to take you too much time. Well, just think about what you do when you're on the toilet. Do you scroll through Instagram Reels? Do you go on Reddit? Maybe you could take 5 of those minutes to actually go on Twitter and type out 1 or 2 replies. One of the best tools nowadays to get a massive amount of impressions, though, is going to be threads. This means coming up with a good hook that will intrigue someone enough to keep reading. And now, if you want to keep them engaged with that thread, at every single tweet under that, you have to follow up with an action they can do, provide a solution to the problem that is in the hook, to make those people feel that by keep on reading your thread, they will get added value at every single tweet. These tend to be reposted a lot, and I'll even use one when sharing this video on Twitter. Now, it's not necessarily going to be a walk in the park to get those 15 million impressions, but if you stick to it, have a little discipline, and actually use a little bit of your time a day that you're already wasting away to focus on getting those, you will actually achieve it, no doubt. Why do some people only get a couple $100s in revenue and some others get thousands though? Well, that's all about the niche, because advertisers pay different prices in order to target different interests. Since there's a lot of creators in the gaming and beauty niches, brands basically have a huge space to spread their ad, and so two brands won't necessarily be fighting to put their ads in front of the same tweet, meaning they can get that ad placement for a lower cost. Whereas the highest paying niche is finance, cryptocurrency, and passive income, because there are less content creators talking about those subjects, and there are a lot of brands that want to run ads, and those brands usually being financial services, they do have a lot of money to throw at this advertising, pushing the price of those ads higher and higher up. And remember, creators actually get a cut of the ad revenue. It's called ad revenue sharing, which means the more advertisers pay, the more you receive. So that's one thing to think about when picking your niche. Now, I wouldn't recommend going into a specific niche just because it pays more than the other, because if you're not passionate about it, you're gonna get bored and eventually stop posting about it. You're going to have to find a niche that you're actually passionate about and that you like tweeting and making content about. That way, it won't seem like a job, it'll just be easier, and you'll see that after a couple days of doing this consistently, it actually becomes a habit. If you have any more questions about the subject of making money on Twitter, you can actually tweet them at me at Smoletown or drop them in the comments down below. Now, if you're watching up to here, you probably feel like I provided you with some good information, so please consider dropping a like and eventually subscribing to the channel, because once you make all this money from Twitter, you might think that investing it is a good choice, and I talk about that on this channel. On that note, it was your boy Marcel, aka Smoletown. I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll catch y'all in another one. Peace.